Good morning, all. Today we'll be discussing about a new topic, that is ethics and legality of data use. So, in the previous classes, we were discussing about analytical CRM, and we learned how to analyze the data which is collected from the customers. Now, today we are going to discuss about what all things the company should be aware of, what all things the company should be cautious of while collecting data from the customers. That is, what all ethics and legal rules the company should follow while collecting the data of the customers. The first thing is relating to the collection of data itself, the initial stage, that is collection of data. So while collecting the data of the companies, the data of the customers, the company needs to make sure that this data is not being shared with any other parties. And also some important information, sensitive information of the customers, like the credit card number of the customers, the medical history of the customers, the transaction methods of the customers, the number of transactions which occurs of the customers, the balance of the customers, the bank balance of the customers. These data should be transmitted along a secure database. നമ്മൾ ഓൺലൈനിൽ ഒരു പേയ്മെൻറ്റ് നടത്തുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ കാണാറുണ്ട്. ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ഡൺ ഇൻ എ സെക്യൂർ ഗേറ്റ് വേ, ഇൻ എ സെക്യൂർ ഡേറ്റാബേസ്. മറ്റാർക്കും അത് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കില്ല. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ദീസ് ഡേറ്റാസ് മസ്റ്റ് ബി സേവ്ഡ് ആൻഡ് ട്രാൻസ്മിറ്റഡ് അലോങ് എ സെക്യൂർ ഡേറ്റാബേസ്. And also one more thing the company needs to do is, while collecting the data, the company needs to cross-check the collected data to make sure that it belongs to that particular customer itself. That is, there is no false data which is provided by the customer. The second thing is regarding the use of the CRM data. So while using the data also, the company needs to make sure that the sensitive data of the customer is being protected. That is, in most of the cases, the company will have to share the data with the sub-suppliers or the intermediaries. So while sharing this data, the organization needs to make sure that the sub-suppliers or the intermediaries are committing to the rules and regulations or guidelines provided by the organization. They should get it in writing, or they should get the signature or the authorization of the person who is dealing with the data, that this data will not be shared to any other places or parties. And the last thing is the disposing of the customer's data. So when the CRM program is being withdrawn, or the use of that particular data regarding the customer is being completed, the organization should have a particular procedure or policy for destroying or disposing the data which is collected by the customer. So the first and foremost thing is, the company needs to make sure that the customer will be able to access the data which the company has been collected. കമ്പനി കളക്ട് ചെയ്ത് വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ഡേറ്റയിൽ ഏത് സമയവും ഏതൊക്കെ ഡേറ്റയാണുള്ളത്, എന്തൊക്കെയാണുള്ളതെന്ന് കസ്റ്റമറിന് അറിയാനായിട്ടുള്ള റൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. സോ ദേ ഷുഡ് ബി പ്രൊവൈഡഡ് ആക്സസ് ടു ദ ഡേറ്റ വിച്ച് ഇസ് കളക്റ്റഡ് ബൈ ദ കമ്പനി. ആൻഡ് വൺസ് ദ യൂസ് ഓഫ് ദ ഡേറ്റ ഈസ് ബീങ് കംപ്ലീറ്റഡ് വിത്ത് ദ പെർമിഷൻ ഓഫ് ദ കസ്റ്റമർ, the company needs to delete all the data from their database to make sure that the data is not being given to any other parties, or the data is not at risk.